I get to hang out or sometimes just be around people in all kinds of elected offices, whether they're city council members or neighborhood presidents or international union presidents or members of Congress. And it's mostly folks that really want to have big parties thrown for them or throw big parties for themselves or want to put their names on everything. And it's really special. I was just thinking about what a treat it is to be able to be at a party for a guy who is incredible and so special for this job and perfect for this job, because he's the opposite of that. Somebody that would never want this, and that's exactly why you're getting it today, Rick. So that makes me feel really good, knowing that it makes you uncomfortable a little bit. But also, I'm sitting here with some amount of sadness, because while we know that you're still going to be here and still working on all sorts of stuff, just thinking back to all the folks that you've helped and all the phone calls you've taken from so many of us. And I mean it really sincerely, that I wouldn't be here, a bunch of us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, your leadership, and your example, because a lot of us were just kids saying we wanted to organize some construction workers, or we wanted to build coalitions between union members, or we wanted to go kick the mayor's ass because he didn't want to pay a living wage on some jobs. And people could have said, wait your turn. But instead he said, let's go. And that is really unique. That is really special. And to me, that's the example I want to set for the labor organizers that eventually come after me and the elected officials that come after me, the example I want to set for my son, who you heard crying here in the back at 3 months old. We would not be here, and we would not be on the track that we're on to organize all over this state, build a new labor movement, build a new social construct in this country, and change the direction of this state and this country if it weren't for the example you've set. So thank you so much, Rick. So one cool thing that I get to do in my job that I don't do often, but we want to keep it special, is that in the Constitution it says that when something's read into the congressional record, it is kept forever in the Library of Congress. And so I want to read you all what we have submitted to the congressional record. It starts out saying, Mr. Speaker. Just ignore that guy. Put somebody else in the chair when you hear this. Mr. Speaker, it is my honor to call the attention of the United States House in recognition of Rick Levy, the longtime president of the Texas AFL-CIO and a tireless champion of the Texas labor movement for decades. A son of St. Louis, Missouri, Rick studied at Stanford University and earned his law degree at Northeastern. He began his career as a civil rights and labor lawyer before joining the Texas AFL as its legal and education director. He went on to serve as secretary-treasurer before being elected its president. As president of the AFL-CIO of Texas, Rick led the Texas labor movement's legislative and political work, supported organizing new unions across Texas, and established the foundation for the future of the American labor movement. Rick led efforts to expand our union's infrastructure and capacity, and his leadership has always been defined by his ability to unite Texas workers of all backgrounds. Under his tenure, the AFL-CIO Immigrant Worker Project, the Texas AFL-CIO Women's Jobs Project, the Young Active Labor Leaders, and more coalitions were created. Rather than shying away from internal challenges and divisions in our movement, Rick tackled them head-on while maintaining his famously dry sense of humor. The Texas labor movement, thanks to Rick Levy more than anyone else, is a movement for all working people, no matter your color or creed. As the United States representative for the 35th Congressional District of Texas, or whatever the district they put us in, I didn't read that in, it is my great privilege to commemorate Rick's decades of service. However, Rick's legacy will not be best measured in progressive policies or political programs. Rick's legacy lives through the countless leaders he has helped inspire, from those working the shop floor to those working the floor of the U.S. House. I count myself amongst the Texans who view Rick as our hero. Rick has been a lawyer for those who have been failed by the law, a mentor for new leaders, and an organizer of organizers. Texas is forever grateful for Rick Levy's service. And we have more presents for you, Dee Dee. The day we entered this into the record, we had a flag flown over the United States Capitol that I'm here to deliver to you right now if you want to come on up and take it.
That's the flag, y'all.
Yeah, that's the flag.
That's a, I get this.
You get that too?